Okay, so finally, Take-Two executives were asked about what they're going to price GTA 6 at, and they answered the question. Not, of course they didn't, because why would they? They did a good old dodge, you know, little dodge on the question, okay? You know, we're getting to the point where anytime anybody close to Take-Two Interactive does any interview with any media outlet, GTA 6 is going to come up. It's a massive, massive component of their business. But they've actually revised their estimations and projections for earnings for next fiscal year, and they've revised them up. They're expecting to make more money than they were a month ago. So they're getting excited. Take-Two boss on GTA 6 pricing says, quote, "Our goal always is to deliver more value than we charge." Which makes it sound expensive. Does it not? It makes it sound like it's gonna be a lot. As you can see, as $80 price tags are becoming the norm for AAA titles in 2025, it's a fair query, dare I say, but one that Take-Two Interactive owner GTA maker Rockstar Games is not ready to answer this far out from the game's May 2026 release. So, as you can see here, Take-Two Interactive CEO and Chairman Strauss Zelnick told Variety in an interview, "So now that announcement will come from Rockstar in due time." He says, "Stop asking me, it's coming from Rockstar." "Our goal is always to deliver more value than what we charge, so we've had variable pricing at the company forever. As you know, the approach of the industry is to launch at a premium price, so sometimes with special editions, and over time, typically we reduce the price to enhance the overall size of the market. We do the very same thing. I think probably more than most, we're highly focused on making sure that the experience is great, not just because the game itself is great, but also because consumers have paid a fair price for it." So he says we're going to make sure that we charge more value, or we charge something so people feel like they get more value than they were charged. So, you know, deliver more value. Okay, that makes it sound like it's going to be expensive. But then he sandwiches it and says, we want to make sure consumers think the experience is great, not just because the game is great, but also because they paid a great price, a fair price. So that makes me think it's going to be cheaper. So it's starting to feel like, again, 80, like it's going to be 80 as a premium price point. And it's like, yeah, it's a premium price point. You're getting a lot for that $80. But their hope is to deliver a game that is so good that it feels like a steal even at 80. My prediction from a year and a half, 2 years ago, I don't even know how long at this point, but I've been saying it for ages. I think what they do is really, really simple. I think this is what it is. You remember AC Shadows? They lost a ton of press exclusivity because AC Shadows started leaking like a full month before it launched. Because they sent out physical copies and the game was on the physical copies. I think they're going to try desperately to prevent that. So what I think that Take-Two is going to do is I think they're going to launch the base version at 80. Okay? I think then there's going to be a higher end edition. The higher end edition is probably going to be the deluxe edition. Okay? I guess I could say that this is $79.99. Okay? We got to be precise about this. I think then they have a deluxe edition that is $99.99. Okay? This is for launch. I think this is digital. This is digital. I don't think there's a physical version directly at launch, okay? But then I think they'll also have like an ultra edition that will be something like $109.99. And I think this version will come with 5-day early access, maybe even 7-day. But I think that if you buy the top cream of the crop version, you'll get access to the game like a full week early. And then at launch, you can buy it for 80 if you want. And maybe they do a physical copy only at this. Maybe this edition is only physical or comes with physical. But again, it launches at the official launch date. Early access kicks off for people that paid the premium. I think that's what they're going to do because the FOMO with this is going to be insane. It's going to be ridiculous. Matthew, thank you for the membership, by the way. Thank you. And Boone for gifting another membership to Ethan. Thank you. Very kind, very generous. Thank you, guys. And this way they can get out of the drama of like, you charged $110 for the game. They're like, no. We charged 80. And if people really want to play the game a week early, they can. They just buy the premium version. So then they get a good chunk of change more, a solid $30 more per copy. And I think a ton of people will buy this. You may not, but I think, again, you got to think broader market. Every high schooler, every college student, everybody that's in Kai's stream when he boots up the game, everybody that's in Speed's stream, Queso's stream, Jinxie's stream, XQC stream, all of those kids and teens and young adults and stuff, they're all buying it to get in. They're all buying it. Zeke, I hate it, but I admit I would pay. And I think they know that. I think they know that. Because even if you don't even if 110 for you is way too much, they'll just get you to wait. And then they get you at 80. So they're still happy. Maybe they even stagger it. It's like 100 is 3-day early access. So it's like, yeah, if you want to jump in, you just wait a couple days and then you can save a little money. Or, really, you can just go in, play it an extra 2 days early and do that. But I think then they can be like, yeah, because this is digital only, I think that's also a component of this, digital only. Dope. I think they can also avoid the problem that AC Shadows had, which was that physical copies started leaking. Because what happened with AC Shadows is not that people stole copies from the manufacturing center or something. What happened was they started shipping physical copies of AC Shadows for the original launch date, which was going to be Valentine's Day. They delayed it again until March, but those copies were still out in the wild. And my understanding is they were being held at distribution centers. So think of the big Amazon warehouses. And then people that are making minimum wage or close to it for their state, they're in there working and they see a copy of AC Shadows, or in this case, they'll be looking down. They see Grand Theft Auto 6. Doesn't take many. There were a couple hundred people across the world that started taking and slipping that into their shirt, and they left and stole it, and then they tried flipping it on Facebook Marketplace or on Craigslist. That was especially stupid because you saw people that stole these copies of games from DCs, and then they literally posted it on Facebook Marketplace with their profile picture being them and their own name and call me at my phone number to buy it. They don't catch the smart ones. I'll just say that. they don't catch the smart ones. But I think that would happen times a bajillion with GTA 6. Times a bajillion. I mean, it would be crazy how many people would be trying to get copies of that extra early. So if there are physical versions, I think there's no data on the disc. I think it's probably literally just a code to redeem it, and you have to download it through the official servers. It's going to be crazy. Do you remember the first trailer for GTA 6? Do you remember what happened there? It was supposed to launch at a certain time. It didn't launch at that certain time. You know why? Because a YouTube employee went into the back end of the website and found the trailer was unlisted, sitting ready to hit publish on the Take-Two Interactive, whatever Rockstar YouTube channel, and they leaked it from there. When you are dealing with a level of hype that's so insane that even YouTube isn't safe anymore, Google employees can't be trusted. I don't think they mess around with oh, well, we'll just make sure we ship it a day later. I don't think they're going to risk any of that. I think maybe they don't even do physical copies for a full week or something. I don't know. Maybe the counter to this is, well, Luke, I think all of that is probably just free marketing. All of the discussions over this will be free promotion for the game. All the news stories about people breaking into distribution centers to steal copies of GTA 6 to play it early. Maybe. But I think if they can avoid leaks and spoilers and stuff, yeah, I think they want to avoid that. So yeah, but I think it's very, very likely that there's no data on that disc. Maybe they can do something where it requires the online verification, but again, there's going to be people that are trying to get into the actual code of the game and start data mining, and it's going to be a whole thing. Rockstar hates chat or hates leaks. Yeah, they do. Which is why it's so freaking funny that a teenager from a hotel room using a Roku stick broke in and stole all of those leaks. You remember those leaks from, what was that, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where somebody broke into their, I think it was their Slack is where it officially leaked, but he hacked into it while he was in a hotel room using a Roku TV stick. Like, that kid has some other level. I think the court documents suggested that he was like on the spectrum and like had very high functioning autism and stuff. Like, he was, I think they also said that they indefinitely like committed him to a psych ward because he said that he would do it again. He was like, yeah, you let me out, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it again. And they're like, no, stop. And he's like, I'm going to do it. Like, you can't stop me. And they're like, okay, well then you have to go take a time out from society forever until you stop. He's like, I'll do it again. It's kind of goated. I mean, it's kind of a Chad move, frankly, but it's also like, hey, we're going to put you in timeout. Okay. You come out in a year and we get you back in society. And he's like, we'll do it again. Like, you are on such another level of like tech genius that we can't risk you doing that. Like, what if he started going after government secrets? What, God forbid he gets a Fire TV stick, much less a Roku stick. God, can you imagine what would happen if he had a laptop? Like, oh God, we couldn't handle it. So anyway, Strauss Zelnick said all of this. I've went down a crazy rabbit hole. So Wall Street forecasts loss of earnings per share of 72 cents on $1.32 billion in revenue, according to analyst census data provided by LSEG. Take-Two reported a GAAP loss per share of 7 cents or 11.9 million on 1.42 billion in net bookings and 1.5 billion in GAAP net revenue. Of course, originally their forecast net bookings for the quarter, which marks its first quarter of fiscal 2026, be between 1.25 billion and 1.3 billion, with GAAP loss per share between 78 cents and 65 cents. Spurred by this overperformance, so they actually cut the amount of money that they were expected to lose. They outperformed that. And this type of thing is pretty common in the game space, where you'll have one quarter where you're not doing, you're not turning a profit, and it's because you are spending money on developing the game that you're going to launch next quarter. A GTA publisher boss says he's running scared despite billions in the bank and GTA 6 size financial nuke on the horizon. We are looking over our shoulders all the time. Also, I love this picture. Look at this. This is a screen cap from GTA 6. This game is going to be something else, dude. It's the Florida granny on her motorized scooter with her milkshake in the basket, the iguana walking along. You've got tourists climbing the whale statue in the background, taking pictures. I can only imagine what's going to happen. Sachin says he actually used a Fire TV stick and not a Roku stick. Oh God. So what would have happened if he had had a Roku stick? I don't actually know which is better. If you've never been to Florida, this is Florida. This. I don't know how else to describe it. A picture's worth 1,000 words. This is Florida. The only thing that would be more Florida is if there was like a white dude with dreads that was wearing nothing but tidy whities, and he was going fishing for an alligator with a children's fishing pole. I think that would be more Florida, just a little bit extra, but yeah, this game is going to be insane. They go on, but what he said specifically, Strauss Zelnick, CEO of GTA publisher Take-Two, has revised his expectations on the back of stronger than expected financial results for its first quarter of fiscal year 2026. The company now anticipates making between 6.1 and 6.2 billion for the overall financial year, up from its prior guidance of 5.95 to 6.05 billion. Again, just to put this in perspective, this increase that's being discussed here, I know it's like, oh, it's 0.15, right? That's $150 million. That's what we're talking about here, okay? Like, just casually being like, yeah, we expect to make another 150 million. Pretty chill. That's what we're talking about. Like, the scale of these companies is kind of hard to wrap your mind around, but that's what we're dealing with. Okay. It's why also, you see a GTA 6 level success and you're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars coming in. It can keep an entire company that is worth tens of billions of dollars afloat, just having that thing on the horizon. And yet in a chat with Games Business, Zelnick says the general operating procedure at the corporate C-suite is to act like you're being pursued by wolves. Quote, "We are looking over our shoulders. We are running scared." Which on the one hand is just boilerplate corpo speak. There's not an MBA in the world who isn't desperate to corner you with chat about how hungry and ambitious and agile they are, even if they administrate the slow bulk of stock market topping corporate Goliath. Even if they administrate, okay. Sitting down and telling reporters, honestly, everything's going really well, so I've sort of stopped caring, is liable to send your share price the wrong way. Absolutely. So, but it's worth noting that the precise question Zelnick is responding to, the Game Business put to the boss that the tastes of younger generations seem to be mutating. Does Gen Alpha lust after graphical fidelity and miles deep simulation? It does not. It's playing Roblox, which looks like a PS1 threw up. Yeah, that's fair. Take-Two does not currently have much that's poised to muscle in on that space. This is what investors are asking about. Is like, where's your Roblox competitor? What are you doing to combat Roblox? Logan, chat has unionized. Don't fire. Also, we need Todd. Oh, chat's unionized. Okay, let me just turn off chat real quick. Shut it down. Shut it down. My thing is, like, I understand the discussion and discourse around the market changing, but I think the one piece to remember is that if you rewind the clocks to 2013, you remember what Xbox's direction for the future was? They were like, the future is not gaming. It's hybrid media experiences. So we're going to turn the Xbox One into a cable box. And we all know how that went. And then a couple years later, everybody was talking about how the future of gaming is not on consoles, it's on mobile. They're like, look where all of the players are. They're all on mobile. They're all playing on their phones. So we need to have mobile experiences. And there were discussions about how they were like, yeah, we don't think there's going to be another generation of consoles after the PS4. There were actual articles written in 2014, 15, 16 about that. And what happened? The industry grew. There's a lot of people that play games on mobile, but consoles are bigger than ever. And I think the thing is, all this discourse over like Roblox and stuff, it's true that people play Roblox, but a lot of people grow out of Roblox. There is a point where people decide that, I'm good with that. I want a more mature experience. I want something bigger and better and crazier. And they look for it in something like a GTA 6 or a console gaming experience, which is what they get. So I don't think that companies that are throwing, if they throw out their more serious adult stuff, I think they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and I think they're going to regret that in due time. I think, because I think that a lot of those Roblox players will keep playing Roblox. Sure. A lot of them are going to grow up and move into games like GTA 6, and Red Dead 2. And I think that the market will absorb them, but I think they're just fundamentally different groups, I think. But he said, I'm fond of saying that arrogance is the enemy of continued success. We know that in the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years, there's going to be an array of big new titles and maybe even some new formats. The implication being that if Take-Two gets too comfortable on its GTA throne and fails to keep pace with industry trends, there's every chance it could easily end up outstripping and being outstripped and supplanted by its competitors. If I were Take-Two investor, I would think these words are words that I would like to hear. Our 3-part strategy is to be the most creative, the most innovative, and the most efficient company in the business. I am not sure specifically about what young people want versus any other segment of the population, but I am sure there is a great opportunity if you bring somebody something fantastic and unexpected. Yeah. If you believe in your content and you just put it out there and you believe that, you make the best thing possible, people will come and engage with it. And that's what we've seen. And you look at something like GTA 5. GTA 5 has withstood both of those big attempted market shifts where people were saying, shorter sighted executives were saying in 2013 when GTA 5 launched, the future is shared experiences. You should have some sort of cable TV movie, something or other tie-in, always online, whatever, for GTA 5. And then that game also lived through the craze over everything's going mobile. Everything's going to be on phones and tablets. Nobody's going to own a console or a gaming PC anymore. And it still is in the top 10 charts of every quarter for game sales, even now, because it's just a phenomenal game. It's just a phenomenal experience, right? And the audiences move towards those. So I understand the caution and the concern over Roblox, over mobile games, Monopoly Go and everything. But I think the people that are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on Monopoly Go are not the ones that were ever going to play games like GTA 6. I think it's a different market entirely, which is why it's okay if you provide them something, if you create a product that you can sell to those people, to that audience. But I think it's crucial to understand that they're different audiences. They're different groups. The people that are playing Diablo Immortal are probably not the same guys that are spending hundreds of hours in Diablo 4 or Path of Exile. You know, it's the mobile platform is different. Roblox is different. It's a different group of people. You know, it's different.
He took my thing.